Hello everyone, this is Zach with the Aeong Show, and I'm back with another video for you. Last night was AEW's Forbidden Door, and it was also probably the last time we're going to see Will Ospreay in an AEW ring for a good while now. Probably until at least next year at the earliest, and we'll see from there at that point. If you have not heard, Will Ospreay did, in storyline, his injury, stuff like that, but he also did disclose that he does have, a few herniated discs that are currently pushing into his spine, which need to be corrected. Like, those are things that need to be fixed. So he will be out of action after Forbidden Door. Of course, they wrote him off with the whole Death Riders attack angle after the match. But yeah, it is a serious injury. He wasn't in any danger of getting hurt more, is what he said, according to his doctors. But it was a thing that needed to be corrected. As much as, medical science and all that stuff, surgery and all that has gotten more advanced over the years, it's a lot different from like 20 years ago to now. It's still a scary thing. It's still, an unknown thing because you don't know what's going to happen. Even he said in one of his interviews how, people were saying how, things might have to change with the way you wrestle, or like you might have to tone some things down and stuff like that. Which is why he went all out last night at Forbidden Doors, because he wanted to be Will Ospreay for one last time, in his words. And yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like when one of these things happens, you want to kind of like appreciate the wrestler. You really want to take the time to look back at what the wrestler has done and really appreciate what they've done. Make sure you show thanks to them, because it's never too late to appreciate someone and say thank you for what they've done. Again, we're all fans. We all love professional wrestling. We don't want to see any of our favorite wrestlers get hurt. We don't want to see them out of action. We want to see them in the ring, performing, doing what they love and what we love watching them do. So, especially someone at the level of Will Ospreay, you don't want to see him take any time off, especially with such a, risky surgery. Even if he will be fine afterwards, come back and all that, you never know. And so it's one of those things where you just want to make sure that you give the thanks that he deserves. Because I think, last night was definitely kind of like a celebration of Will Ospreay a little bit in that match, I would say. I mean, the match, before, when he was coming out, he had his promo package hyping him up, voiceover by his partner Alex Windsor, just saying all these nice things about him, that he is Will Ospreay no matter what and all that. And then the crowd, of course, is coming unglued for him when he comes out, him staying on the cage, everyone chanting, "Ah, Spray, ah, Spray." Like, that was just a moment. Like, that was a special moment for me and watching as a fan. And then, the match itself, he went crazy, diving off the cage, these moves, him and Kenny having a bunch of spots together, him and Tanahashi, Ibushi, everyone interacting with him. Then after the match, and before the Death Riders attacked him, to be able to stand in the ring by himself, everyone leaving him in the ring to kind of like give him that moment to like soak it all in one more time, because I mean, Will Ospreay to me is one of those guys who I think like really is like one of the, in such a short time since he's like fully been a member of AEW. I mean, he only joined AEW full time at the beginning of 2024, and he's already kind of become like one of the faces of the company. Like, he kind of like, in my opinion, represents AEW more than almost anyone else. Which you might be like, oh no, there's guys like Hangman, there's guys like Swerve, there's guys like MJF, Darby, all these guys who have been there, like Moxley, who have been there since like the beginning or really early on. But there's just something about Ospreay. I don't know, he like encapsulates AEW, like this feeling of like this, like the underground, like that, against the grain, not the mainstream, like Ospreay really encompasses that, like that purely like the best wrestlers. Like, for me, in a way, he's kind of similar to, which, funny or not, he's similar to Kenny Omega, like in that way. Like when Kenny was kind of coming up in New Japan, they kind of had the same similar path, both of them. Like Kenny coming up as a junior, and then he finally broke out, won the G1. Then he had those great matches with Okada, and like he wasn't champion yet, but everyone was behind him. Then he finally won the title. Then he went to AEW, won the title there. All this stuff, like that same sort of like rise, that same sort of like feeling of like, this is our guy. Heyman kind of has that same sort of thing too, of like, where he came in, he was like, the main protagonist, as everyone calls him, and stuff like that, where, he came in from the beginning of AEW, and like, you see these guys and you want to see them grow because you've watched them for so long, like, and for me personally, I know for a lot of people as well, especially like in England, like, you've seen Ospreay from when he was super young, like, doesn't even look like the same person, like, he's so much smaller, he was a junior, and like, he was just trying to like imitate guys like AJ Styles and stuff like that, and then to see him now, like he's a grown man, he's like 30 years old, family and all that, he's done so much in wrestling at this point, like, he's won everything, he dominated the British scene, he went to Japan, was a dominant junior, he became a heavyweight, he won the IWGP world title, um, he was in the finals of the G1, he's done like pretty much all you can do. Then he comes to AEW. He's, main evented pay-per-views. He's put on some of the best matches of all time throughout, in New Japan as a junior, and as a heavyweight, and now in AEW. I mean, he's just one of those guys where it's impossible not to root for him. Like, I don't know how anyone can watch Will Ospreay, see him perform, like, watch him when he comes out, the crowd, everything about it when he comes out, and like, I don't know, like, say like he's not a star, or like criticize him, or say he isn't that good or anything like that. Like, I've been praising Will Ospreay for, I have no idea, 10 years almost at this point. Like, I've been singing his praise forever, always saying like he was that good. Like, I've always thought he's one of the best. Like, as a junior, he's put on crazy matches when people were criticizing him. As a heavyweight, he's been putting on crazy matches. Then he comes to AEW, people criticize him, he's still putting on amazing matches. I don't know what anyone could want. If you can watch Will Ospreay and not be amazed, I don't. I feel like it's the same people who like criticize like Kenny Omega and stuff like that, where like, people want to like trash on Kenny and stuff, and it's like, do you even enjoy professional wrestling at this point? Like, I mean, again, to each their own. No one has to like everything the same, but I mean, come on, you have to at least understand and admit when someone is so good. Even if you personally don't like it, you have to admit it. Like, I can admit there's about wrestlers maybe I don't fully see, but like, you cannot deny when someone's a star. Will Ospreay is a star. Maybe the best in the world for a while now. I mean, just particularly just in ring, like, it's kind of hard to deny. He's been putting on some of the best matches in the world for years now. Like, just years. As a junior, he was doing it. As a heavyweight in New Japan, he was doing it. I mean, since he came to AEW, the matches he's had with Bryan Danielson, Okada, Kyle Fletcher, Swerve, Kenny, like Mox, like the Darby matches, like the Hangman match, like the MJF match, like every single match, like with all these top guys, and he's just putting on classics every time. Like, Will Ospreay's that guy. And for me, I think he's, when he comes back, which again, I'm not doubting he's coming back, whether he has to tone down his style, he can't do as many crazy things, maybe he has to be a little bit more grounded. I mean, that happens to a lot of guys when they do get older anyway. I mean, like AJ Styles, one of his inspirations, he was a guy who, AJ in 2004 compared to AJ in 2016, they're not the same wrestler, like, they very different styles. Like, they have a lot of the same moves and stuff like that, but like, AJ in 2004 was crazy high flying. AJ in 2016 would still do some high flying spots, but definitely toned it down a bit, which again, Ospreay has toned it down a bit since like he was doing some crazy stuff in like 2018, 2016 as a junior. But yeah, when he comes back, he's the guy. Like, he needs to be crowned champion. I think hopefully he can come back healthy in time for All In next year in Wembley, because that needs to be his moment. He needs to walk into Wembley and walk out the AEW World Champion, the AEW Men's World Champion, so he can have, because I think it will be one of the biggest moments in AEW history, maybe in wrestling history. Like, the crowd reaction of him winning in Wembley, like, will be insane. And just thinking about it gets me excited, and that's one of those that, like, when you just get excited thinking about that, I don't know. That's what I love about wrestling. And Will Ospreay is one of the things that I love about wrestling. One of the best, and I am proud to be one of his fans. I wish him the best of luck with his surgery. I hope it goes smoothly. I hope he's back quicker than expected, 100% healthy, ready to go. Because I know I will miss him in the ring. AEW definitely has the guys to hold down the fort. So I mean, it's not any danger of that, but there will definitely be a glaring hole without Will Ospreay in AEW. So I can't wait for him to come back. And I know everyone else who's an AEW fan will be missing him. So good luck, Will. See you soon, hopefully, back in an AEW ring. This has been Zach with the Aeong Show. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a comment, subscribe. Thank you again for watching. I will see you all next time.